Okay, good morning, everybody. It is Monday, August 31st. It's our last day of August. So we are starting with math as usual, and you will need your whiteboards for your math today, your dry erase marker, and an eraser. You want to bring these to our Zoom class as well because we're going to do our multiplication race again, which we had a lot of fun doing on Friday. Okay, so today I want you to practice doing your 5s times tables and your 9s times tables. And I would like for you to practice writing each one of these individually twice. So that means I'm going to do my 5s one time, my 5s again. I'm going to do my 9s one time, my 9s again. Okay? So I'm going to say 1 times 5 equals 5. 2 times 5 equals 10. 3 times 5 equals 15, and you're going to keep going. Okay, I think we know this format because we've been practicing it a lot in class. The other thing that I want you guys to do as you are writing your times tables for each one of these factors or for each one of these numbers, I would like for you to pay attention to patterns that you're seeing. We did a really excellent job on Friday of observing patterns in our numbers and being able to discuss them and call them out. So as you are doing your 9s and your 5s, look for patterns, and there are lots of them. Okay, so I'll be excited to see what we come up with in our discussion. All right, so that's what you're doing for math on your own. That's one of your assignments. And then again, remembering to bring these materials to our Zoom class today. So now we are going to, you're not doing anything surprisingly in your classwork workbook, but you are going to be working in your homework and remembering. So a little different today. Grab your homework and remembering book, okay? And the page that we are doing in our homework and remembering, let me just take a look real quick. For math, we are going to be doing 2 pages in our homework and remembering, and they are 31 and 32. So 31, there we go. What is your study plan today? Are you going to work in a quiet space? Are you going to ask somebody at home to check your work for you? You need to fill in what your study plan is. Mine was, I'm getting started earlier today. So I'm going to write that. Getting started early. And unfortunately, I am my own homework helper. If you guys were here, I'd have one of you guys be my homework helpers. Okay, so your directions say there's 2 steps. Write an equation for each situation and then solve the problem. So write the equation, solve the problem. Here it does give you a space to show your work as well, which is always a good idea. So number 1 says the pet store has 54 birds. There are 9 birds in each cage. Whenever we see the word each, that almost always means that we are going to divide. So we're going to say 54 divided by 9, and I know that 54 divided by 9 would be 6, because I also know that 6 times 9 gives me 54, right? So, and then you guys are so good about remembering to put the labels like the book had taught us to do in 2nd grade. So 6 cages, there are 6 cages, right? Okay, so you're going to do 2 through 5 alone. When you turn to the back, if you look at the heading, it actually calls it out. It is remembering. So now we're going to be reviewing a bunch of different skills that we have learned. Oh, and I love that they're even going to bring in some coins. Okay, so remembering that whenever we have the fraction bar, the division sign, or the bracket that we are dividing. Okay, so I'm going to do 6 first. I'm going to say, okay, how many times does 2 go into 20? Or I would say 20 divided by 2. This is the same as saying 20 divided by 2. Okay, or I can say what number times 2 gives me 20. And of course, that answer would be 10. Okay, you have 4 word problems to work on. The parking lot has 45 cars. There are 5 cars in each row. How many rows of cars are there? Of course, that word each almost always means that we're dividing. And we are. So we're going to say 45 divided by 5, and that equals 9. All right, coming down to complete the table. How many dimes? Oh, now this is kind of interesting. I'm wondering if we can figure out what this pattern is here, because we see that 1 dime, 3 dimes. Actually, there may not really be a pattern. We just have to match the number of dimes with the total amount. So I would, rather than looking at this as rows going across, I would look at this as columns going down, okay? So if I have 1 dime, then I have 10, and we're going to put our cent sign behind it, right? If I have 3 dimes, that's the same as saying 3 times 10. Look at that. That's what our book is trying to teach us. So this is the last one I'm going to do. And that is 30 cents. So you all fill in the other 3. Okay, and then I'll read the problem for number 12 to you. It says, the music teacher wants to line up the students to form an equal number of rows and columns for each performance. Just for some help, columns are going up and down, rows are going left and right. The music teacher wants 9 rows, remember going left and right. Draw an array to show how many students will be lined up for the performance, and then actually answer how many students will there be. Okay, so that's all you're doing as far as your workbooks go with math, but you do need to spend time in IXL today and really work on those math yellow stars, you guys. Math yellow stars. We have a little bit less math than normal as far as our books are concerned. So please spend that time in IXL math. Okay, for reading, we're getting our textbook. We are on our next story. I can't believe it. This is actually the last story in this unit. And we are going to read page 114 and 115. We are going to be studying our vocabulary for the week. And I'm really excited for you to get your boards at the end of the week, because you're going to have a place to write your vocabulary words, which I'm excited about. So it says, separate, and say the words after me, okay? Separate, determination, storage, exact, ruined, luckiest. Okay, we're looking at word parts today. Word parts are just what that means, that a word has many parts, okay? So part of a word is the suffix. The suffix comes at the end. So let's look at the word luckiest. What word do we already know in this word? We know the word luck, right? If I take off the I-E-S-T, I have luck. That's my base word. So this part of the word, this end part, is actually called a suffix, E-S-T. So ER and EST show comparisons. The ending ER means more. The ending EST means most. So bigger equals more big, right? So Ro, my dog Ro, is bigger than my dog Chapo. If you have a husky, your dog is the biggest dog. Somebody in our class is a husky, so you know who I'm talking to. All right, so you're going to read Pond Street Clubhouse, Pond Street Clubhouse, and you're reading both pages 114 and 115. Once you are done reading that, then you are going to be getting your workbook, and you are going to be completing pages 54, or I'm sorry, 57, 58, and 59. So let's go ahead and start looking at those together. I believe I assigned 57. Let me just make sure real quick, okay, you guys? Reading, I'm in our Google Classroom. Oh, no, I didn't assign 57. It's 58, 59, and 60. All right, so with page 58, we are looking at our spelling skill for the week. And we are working with some vowels, some long I sounds, and we've been working with long vowel sounds. It says, remember the following common spelling for the long I sound. So we already know that we have a long I sound if we have a silent E at the end of a word. But we also have a long I sound with a few other circumstances, with a few other patterns with our letters, okay? So Sometimes when I is alone, rarely, but sometimes that I will make an I, a long I sound. I-E, when the I is followed by the vowel E, we have a long I sound. This one, most of you probably already know. When we have a Y, we do have a long I sound. And when we have an IGH, we also have a long I sound. So your directions say to find the two words in each sentence that have the long I sound and then write them on the lines provided. If you want to use your highlighter for this, by all means, go ahead. If you want to use your crayon for that, go ahead and use your crayon, your favorite color crayon. Number 1 says, why is the sky so blue? So, of course, I hear an I, and I hear an I. A long I, right? So I'm going to rewrite the words Y and sky. So you'll do the same for 2 through 5. Now coming to B, it says write the words in each sentence that has the long I sound. Underline the letter or letters that stand for the sound. Did you know that pilot fish swim near blue sharks? Okay, now did, pilot, and fish all have eyes. But did and fish all have short eyes, right? So the long I would be the pilot. P-I-L-O-T. Pilot. Now, my highlighter is going to smear the ink in my pen, so I'm not going to highlight it. I'm just going to circle it, okay? All right, so you'll do the same for 7 through 12. Now, coming over to page 59. Now we're working with those same vocabulary words that we were studying on page 114 and 115 in our textbook. And something I want to show you guys, which we should all be getting really good at understanding, is that your vocabulary words can be found, the definition for each of your vocabulary words can be found in the what? The glossary. So when I look on the spine, or actually the spine of your book would be the other side, right? But when I look at the pages of my book put together, if I look for those blues, that's where I want to be. That's going to take me to my glossary. Okay, so this is going to help me to find the definition of each one of my words if I need it. You might know some of these words, okay? So let's see, and these are in alphabetical order. So let's see, you know what, you probably already know what luckiest means, right? But maybe you don't know what determination means. So I'm going to turn, okay, F, G, H, I, nope, D comes before that. Here we go, 434 is the page number I'm on. There's the D's, demand, den, deserve, determination. Here we go. So it means a firm purpose. Miguel's determination made him study very hard to get the best score in the class. Okay, so let's see. I'm using my vocabulary to fill this in. It says fill in the blank with the word from the box that best completes each sentence. So I'm going to try to see if I can find the word where the word determination would fit in the best. Okay, Rose's family had planned oh, look at this. Rose's family had planned their trip with great determination. So I'm going to cross it off when I'm done with it because there's 6 sentences and you have 6 words. So as you use one, you won't use it again. I will read 2 through 6 for you if you need me to. If you don't, you can just skip over this part. Okay, it says, number 2, the family's furniture was put into a room for blank on the ship. Number 3, the ship sailed at the blank time it was supposed to leave. Number 4, Rose used a sheet to blank her space from the rest of her family. Number 5, she thought she was the blank person on the ship. She had her own quiet space to write her journal. Number 6, Rose unpacked at her home. Okay, hold on, you guys. Uncle Guy just walked in, so I'm going to do 2 separate videos. I'm going to go talk to him, and I'll be right back with this video.